Welcome, everyone. Sandra Alexei here, and we are in the middle of the Aries stellium. So there's lots of information. It's like igniting a fire as to what's happening, okay? I'm actually from Game Changer, the YouTube channel, and it is a self-discovery book, The New Model of Relationships, more Aquarian. Okay, and you can find out how to order it if you go to the top, and you'll see where you can get the book. Also, I want to welcome everyone today. I am a spiritual business and coach. And if you go underneath, you'll see my website is called mypersonalmuse.com, and you have everything there. There's references. There is a photo album of all the work I've done. I tell you exactly what I do, what's happening, okay? And so I'm really excited. I have just interviewed a lady from Debbie from England. I do a lot of that, and then I share. We have an international community, so we can bring you the latest in everything, okay? About health, well-being, relationships, spirituality, that type of thing. Okay, so this is going to be the second part of the nodes. I placed the nodal nodes number 1 up. It's a 3-part series. Okay, very, very important for you personally and for humanity as to what we're going through. So there'll be a video, and this is a video, and then there'll also be a written one on my Facebook so that you can actually go through and print it off because there's dates. Now what I do is I tend to bring what was last time over here in case somebody didn't get a chance to do the first one. Okay, so I try to make it easy, the easiest for you, because they're trying times, but they're beautiful times. Okay, and so you have to have faith, and you have to have trust, and you have to really be tuned into yourself, and that's what this whole process is about. Okay, so today I'm calling it the nodes number 2, and the shocking now. Soul messages for humanity. So we're going to look at what's happening with the nodes right now and I'll give you the dates. So I say, hopefully you've printed off and read number 1 nodal series for an understanding, or listened to the video, which I always add a little bit more on the video. So we know we're all born with a unique and specific lunar nodal axis in our astrology chart, in our natal chart, and it gives us personal information about our purpose and destiny. Then we have the transiting nodal axis, which affects the collective energy theme, the international global world, okay, and our personal lives. Generally, the transiting nodes, the lunar nodes, changing signs, take about 19 years to move around the chart, 18.6 years by mean node average. When the transiting nodes meet the natal nodes, it indicates a highly personal inner process. Sometimes it can manifest in experiences of feelings that feel fated in some way. These transits propel you towards the teachings of your North Node and challenge you to recognize the qualities and limitations of the South Node. So I look at astrology as a key to self-discovery. Often they can be characterized by meeting people that can change your life or having life-changing experiences. Dreams, synchronicity, and intuitive knowing can also play a prominent part in receiving the message of the transit. So now, from November 7th, 2018 until May 5th of 2020, the lunar nodes have been in Cancer, North Node, and Capricorn, South Node. So Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, which is associated with societal structures, systems, politics, large organizations, and top-down hierarchies. Whereas Cancer is ruled by the moon and is about comfort for our soul, home, family, connecting, aligning with our true divine nature, authenticity, transparency, so we could build a strong body, mind, and spirit foundation. Challenge with the lunar south node in Capricorn. It's about power. Power-driven, corruption, greed, work, systems more important than individuals, hierarchical and patriarchal, which means we're still dealing with this, okay? Because we need to consider Pluto. We have to put a lot of things together. The planet of transformation has been in Capricorn since 2007, and it'll be there until March 22nd of 2024, and is all about the transformation, destruction of societal structures that are not of benefit to humanity and all involved. Take heart, the Pluto in Capricorn is an ally to reform all that's toxic and not authentic in our lives. It is expressed in the choices we make to invest in what is destructive so we can feed the fear, or to be part of creating a brighter future. The shadow power, as Pluto is in Capricorn, is a plan of total control, narcissistic relationship behaviors, and a plan for world government that will be held together by tyrannical control. That is the challenge and ordeal. As more wake up to this and either go along with it or buck it, the system will see the change. Uranus, the awakener, is the higher octave of Mercury and was in Aries. So who awakened to the I am president during these dates? May 27th, 2010 to August 13, 2010, March 11th, 2011 to May 15th, 2018. And then from November 2006, 2008 to March 6, 2019. Then Uranus ingressed or moved into Taurus on March 7th, 2019. We also have an Aquarian energy shift and Saturn and Jupiter that moved into Aquarius on December 20th. So we have lots of shifts and changes. I take all of these planetary placements and my own personal knowings, okay, into consideration as energetic ingredients into creating my videos and articles. The shift and integration to work with the North Node, Lunar North Node in Cancer, individual comfort and safety, nurturing and nourishing, family, archetype the mother who nurtures. The resolution was to be, if the collective, and you did your work, burn the dross, you were responsible for self-mastery in all systems, were to take into consideration being aware of others and nurturing the soul, so that relationships, politics, and organizations serve the needs of the individual, was a benefit to all involved. No energy vampire, parasites, or host. What was happening in your life? Here we are now, experiencing the Lunar North Node. So all of that before I had spoken my first one, but some might not have seen it. So here we're now, experiencing the next lunar nodal axis, which we're in the middle of, and that was May 6th of 2020 until January 18th of 2022. The lunar north node, where we're headed, is in Gemini, and the lunar south node, okay, is what we're required to leave behind, which is in Sagittarius. No matter what your nodal placement is, the transit of the North Node in Gemini and South Node in Sag will influence you in one way or another, depending on the areas of your life, the houses that are ruled by Gemini and Sag in your personal chart. We all have Gemini and Sag in our charts, so we can all apply these principles in particular areas of our lives. So, our focus will be with the North Node in Gemini. Now, this is very important, which means that in the next 18 months, it runs for 18 months, you'll want to learn, understand about the Gemini energy, which is ruled by Mercury, which is all about communication. And we can let go of our inner Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, and take a back seat. Now, the lunar Gemini-Sag axis is the axis of mind, knowledge, and of how we make sense of the world, how we are evolving, and the ascension process into the 5th and 7th D from the 3rd D dimensions. Some of the challenges are indoctrination, brainwashing, and the cognitive cognitive dissonance from the house arrest, the masks, the lockdowns, control mechanisms that affect the ability to process, to use discernment so that you have clarity, which you do not have when suffering from anxiety. Always remember, knowledge has power. The question is, what about wisdom, intuition, life experience, reasoning, critical thinking skills, and logic? The next challenge, question societal critical thinking skills. Or have they been indoctrinated? Question the society as such, who you're listening to. Have they been indoctrinated, brainwashed, and controlled by media and cults? Major cover-ups, scandals, lack of transparency and authenticity. The purpose of the axis is how to balance the lower mind with the higher mind, the immediate environment, the cosmos, knowledge and information with truth and understanding. I intuitively knew that I had to wait, that something would be given to me about the indoctrination and brainwashing through fear. Wow. And lo and behold, it came to me today, right from the news. Okay, you always get something. And after you've read this portion, I want you to sit and I want you to ask your question. How do you feel about it? That's the question. Do you feel played? Do you feel manipulated by someone's agenda? Okay, that can be collectively, but you can also be manipulated by someone that you know, their personal agenda. Okay, so today, April the 14th, 2021, CNN actually came out and did a major disclosure. The audacity for me is incredible, and how they think it is a joke. They can indoctrinate and manipulate, and they did. This is the actual wording. CNN technical director Charlie Chester says, "Look what we did. We, CNN, got Trump out. I'm 100% going to say it, and I 100% believe that if it wasn't for CNN, I don't know that Trump could have got voted out. I came," this is Chester, "to CNN because I wanted to be a part of that. That's the agenda." CNN technical director Charlie Chester was caught admitting that CNN used their platform to help Joe Biden's presidential campaign to the detriment of then President Trump. They say as far as COVID's concerned, that's practically a thing of the past. Chester said, COVID, will taper off to a point that it's not a problem anymore. Okay, so they do a lot of things to distract. Climate change can take years, so CN will probably be able to milk that quite a bit. Climate change is going to be the next good for CNN. Fear sells. Only two emotions, love and fear. You think about it. Oh my God, the disaster right now with Biden, the immigration, the border problems, the cancel of the pipeline, the spending's out of control, and they joke about how they hoodwinked or controlled, indoctrinated the people. Okay, so basically what we call it is the battle of ideas. What is moral competency? Ethical competency was defined in terms of moral competency as the ability or capacity of persons to recognize their feelings when they encounter what is morally right or wrong in particular situations, and then to reflect on those feelings, to direct their decisions and act in ways in which we bring about the highest level. This is something I didn't put in the write-up, but a lot of people are questioning the morality of a lot of the curriculum that is out there right now. Moral competence refers to the effective orientation to perform altruistic behaviors and the ability to judge moral issues logically. Remember, we're also in the Aquarian energy. Aquarian is very impersonal and intellectual energy, which is incredibly positive for humanity. So on the one hand, we're going through this, and then on the other hand, so it's all about choices. But Gemini and Sag have different approaches to knowledge. Gemini and its ruler Mercury rules our primary critical thinking process, how we process and make sense of information from a logical, fact-based perspective, not emotional. Through your awareness, you pay attention to what you see, what you hear, you listen. Mind you, who listens anymore? Everybody likes to yap. And touch. You operate from your Gemini brain. Gemini is associated with people from our immediate environment. Neighbors, acquaintances, siblings, extended family, co-workers, other people we interact with. So Gemini is also connected to short trips, travel by car, short distance trips, and primary education, learning one skill at a time and with one-on-one commercial transactions. Sagittarius and its ruler Jupiter is like Gemini, but it takes the Gemini themes to a much higher, more abstract. Sagittarius is what we see when we close our eyes, the invisible connections between different topics and fields. Gemini is our conscious mind. Sagittarius is our abstract. Gemini is fact-based. Sagittarius is intuition, big picture thinking. So we need both, the balance. Okay. Sagittarius, however, and that's where a South Node is. Okay. Sagittarius can, just a second here, beliefs, can lack curiosity. And what it does, it prefers to follow the marked path. But it can also fall victim to dogma that has been outgrown because you don't question them. Gemini and Sage rule knowledge and knowledge such as education, religion, sports, healthcare, customs, or lifestyle. This is what Sag says. You'll find everything you need to know in the religion or history books. However, Gemini, just like Buddha, encourage us to doubt everything and find our own light. Align with the divine, sovereignty, authenticity, and your own knowing. Okay, rather than listening to authority, being indoctrinated and brainwashed. Currently, we are living this energetic theme out right now. With Sagittarius, the downside of meaning beyond logic is missing important information, reaching flawed conclusions, and ultimately making bad decisions. Okay, and so that was a perfect example of what CNN did, and everybody listened to them and they laugh about it. That was their agenda. So even if you're the spiritual type of person with the North Node in Gemini, your lesson in the next 18 months is to think like a Gemini. Challenge your own assumptions and approach life with curiosity. Some of your beliefs may crumble, and they must crumble with the South Node when the South Node is in Sag, so that they can leave space for more relevant beliefs that better serve you in your new reality. To attain wisdom in the coming year and a half, the North Node in Gemini will ask you to open your minds to a more scientific, fact-based approach. Everything will be exposed. Truth is always relieved, and you are going to be shocked at some of the disclosures that are coming out. Light against the dark. Very prevalent right now. Don't believe just because everyone else does. Instead, just as Buddha said, doubt everything and find your own light. The Gemini approach to learning and knowing is to focus on the practical rather than theories. There's a different approach to learning and truth. Demonstration, explanation, interesting concept. When it comes to our friends, inner is Gemini, relatives, neighbors, people we work with, as opposed to outer as Sag, foreigners who have different points of view. This is where we have some big choices and decisions to make as friends and parents are trying to control you. As you change, they cannot handle it. and will not be able to support your lifestyle choices. Okay, now this is important because right now we have a lot of families that I say are uncoupling, and and it's sad, but they think differently, but they really need to look at why they got to that. Now you have to remember, there are excellent con artists out there that have their own personal agenda. Check out the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme, a huge international investment scandal discovered in late 2008. Again, Pluto just happened to move into Capricorn, and I said to everybody, watch out what's going to be happening. His sons had the integrity. It was about moral competency and consciousness. How can your consciousness live with what you have done? That's the question. And advised the federal authorities. The family was devastated at how many people and territories were swindled. Prosecutors estimated the fraud to be $64.8 billion. There was 4,800 clients were defrauded. But you have to remember, they were part of the greed also. The one son committed suicide 2 years after devastation that his father could be so evil. The epiphany of the greed, corruption, power over how Pluto started when in Capricorn to clean the swamp, and it moves into Aquarius March 22nd, 2024. So we are in process of disclosures. Truth is always going to be revealed. So we're working with censorship, who to believe on social media, news broadcasters, because there's major control and indoctrination. Consider the U.S. politics and the truth about the border and immigration. Main news media, who owns them? And the reality of the people living and working there, senators who have traveled there. Well, I've uncoupled with individuals who I enjoyed friendships with for over years. And as you align with the divine, your frequency grows, and you know you will walk your own path. Congratulations for your courage to commit to your purpose and destiny. Enjoy the like-minded people with similar frequency and energetic resonance. They support your ascension process and do not tear you down. So there's a lot of family challenges. Gemini likes short distance and Sag is long. For now, we're challenged with long distance. So you can reflect on the past to see how it may influence you now. This is when the North Node was in Gemini and the South in Sag years ago. So what was happening to you? That was October 2011 to April 2003, from March 1983 to September 1984, from August 1964 to February 1966, from December 1945 to August 1947. These Gemini Sagittarius connected themes will emerge especially when we have our solar and lunar eclipses, which are coming up and some have come up, at which time the energies become more intense. That's why it's good to print it off. Because, yes, the lunar nodes brings the eclipses. We had and will have the following eclipses while the lunar nodes are in Gemini. So that will be that was June 6, 2020. So the South lunar eclipse was at 15 degrees Sag, and the South node is at 29 degrees Sag. So then on June 20th, 2020, the North Node solar eclipse was at 0 degree Cancer, and the North Node was at 29 degrees Gemini. July 4th, 2020, the South Node lunar eclipse was at 13 degrees Capricorn, the South Node at 28 degrees Sag. November 30th, 2020, North Node lunar eclipse at 8 degrees Gemini, North Node at 19 degrees Gemini. December 14th, 2020, South Node lunar eclipse at 23 degrees Sag, the South Node at 19. So what was happening for you? Now, May 26th, 2021, the South Node lunar eclipse is at 5 degrees Sag. The South Node is at 10 degrees Sag. June 10th, 2020, the North Node solar eclipse is at 19 degrees Gemini, and the North Node is at 10 degrees. November 19th, 2021, North Node lunar eclipse at 27 degrees Taurus. We're starting to get ready for the next one. The North Node is at 1 degrees Gemini. And then December 3rd, The last one, 2021, South Node, solar eclipse at 12 Sag. The South Node is at 1 degree. So now what I do is I mark those dates in my daytimer because I'm still a practical daytimer touch person. Now, take note of these dates because this is when important events are expected to happen. Now, if your birthday is around one of these dates, or if you have personal planets, the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, or angles, the ascendant, descendant, MC or IC, around the degrees of the eclipses, you will be especially influenced by the North Node in Gemini and the South Node in Sag in 2020 to 2022. So no matter what your nodal placement is, the transit of the North Node in Gemini and South Node in Sag will influence you in one way or another, depending on the areas of your life. That's the houses ruled by Gemini Sag. So many blessings and much love. It's a great time to have a private session and reading. Let me assist you in looking at your nodal axis for understanding and answers to your questions during these challenging times. And the third one that I'm going to be doing is going to be what's happening in January of 2022 for 18 months. Thank you for taking your time, and I'd appreciate it if you would like, comment, share, and subscribe to it. And also, I think you press something so that you can be advised when the videos come up. Anyway, the book Game Changer is a great gift idea. Hopefully you have your personal copy. Always remember the first relationship is with self. And that's why the book is good, because the first chapter is all about self-discovery. And we have changed. We're definitely not the same person that we were a year ago, because we have had many different experiences and a lot of trauma. Once a month, I draw a name for a mini reading, do it via Zoom. So every time you comment, your name goes into the draw for April, and we'll contact the winner. I do have to say, the lady that I just interviewed, Debbie, is a clairvoyant, psychic author from England. And what we're going to do is we're going to do another one, so you might want to listen to, I interviewed her as to her work that she does, because she's really into like relationships, twin flames, soul flames, whatever. So I'm going to interview her again, but we're not quite sure how to do a live whatever to ask you to come on. We'll figure it out. But if you have any questions about relationships, twin souls, past life, twin flames, whatever, if you want to put it in the comments, we'll take that into consideration. So much love, many blessings, and just embrace this. Try to understand it. Okay. This is where the critical thinking comes in. And if you're really stressed out, sometimes you don't care. And it's not that you don't care. You just can't get it. Okay. Take care.